Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Evening.
Welcome.
Welcome to Pillow Talk,
Pillow Talk.
Season 3, Episode 17.
This is still the place where God is best for you
And your partner.
So, as you come on in, can I invite you to go ahead and share the program? Invite someone, let them know that we are live and we're in the building. If you're here, go ahead and comment. Let us know that you're actually here so we can actually get right into our program this evening. So, as persons come on in, we're going to go ahead and kickstart things this evening. All right. So, kickstart thing. Right. As you come on inside of the Pillow Talk Hoppers Corner. Good evening, everyone. As you come on in, please go ahead and comment. Comment, like, and let us know that you are here. We're there one more Sunday afternoon, and we're here to talk all about marriage. Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about. Plus, we have to talk about what is about to be released. Good evening to you, Lady Yvonne. Good to see you. It is good to see you. All right. How are you doing? How's Maryland going on? Yeah. Chat ball. All right, so as you continue to share the program and invite let persons know that we're actually here, I'm going to be playing some music this evening. Or even not even one more tune, chat about you want the next song so that you can ready and get ourselves together. But listen to me, I am all ready to go. All right, so of course the vote is in, and everybody has said Daniel must go first, and she's about to wow me.
Can I?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
All right. Them ready? So ready. Am I going first?
Of course,
you're supposed to go first.
Babes, you should go first. Ladies before gentlemen.
You know you're the lyricist.
No, I'm really not. Some see how some things are go ready. Oh, I feel like me at the block. So people, hold on, man. I joke me on my camera. I don't know, build up my little anticipation. So, yeah, my little emotion and think, I got take time with me. Yeah?
All right. Love. Everyone has an addiction. You are mine. I can never have enough. That's why I always come back for more. Lord!
No, sir.
I need to come off this screen.
People me cramp up a joke. I love you, as certain dark things are to be loved, in secret, between the shadow and, of course, my whole soul.
Lord have mercy. Wait.
People shall take too long.
You see, look into my eyes. You see, I'm looking at your eyes. I'm a win. You know, so I'm a win. Lord. You nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Lord. Play what music?
No, it's your time. Play which music?
Mm. Lord, I'm not poetic at all.
Come, and no score me there, cause she'll take too long. Gonna count down. She'll take too long. Look at me if you bust the next one. I mean time. I want to say bust the next one.
Why, Mr. Whis? Mm. Mm.
I want to see how she come out here going like say she rough. I would just back her. We just back her up in a while ago corner and look on her just nervous like what chat boy. Come. And just vote for me, vote for me because yeah, 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 yeah.
Do over already. All right.
Mm.
So you have a look for me.
Mm.
My darling, each time you look at me, you set my entire being on fire.
Mm.
I love you endlessly.
Girl, I need you as much as a heart needs a beat.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, score me there.
And you are like the oxygen I need to breathe.
Girl, if tonight I had one dream,
Mhm.
I know tonight that you are the best dream that I could ever have. So if I were to look back in the past and make a choice tonight, I would not want to wake up from this dream.
Oh, Jesus, you know the line. Let me go draw. We couldn't wait for you not to draw the line. Oh, goodness.
I'm so nervous. Come on, man. Hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Guys.
Our love together, the bond we share, is an adventure I'll never end. I come the mantra. I look forward to I look forward to the new. I look forward to learning. I look forward to growing. I look forward to all that we bring. You are my greatest inspiration, and I appreciate you. Oh yeah, look so.
I'm feeling special.
Oh Lord, oh
Only I had a weird memory as I thought about not having you.
Jesus.
I I was reminded of an experience I woke up earlier in the past without one of my tooth. Nothing felt good again until that tooth was replaced.
The tooth is me. The tooth is me. Oh God. No, sir.
Yes, on you.
No, bruh. No.
Look here, 5 more seconds and we move on. 5 more.
Am I time?
Oh. See that? Yes, lady Andrew. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know. Come, come, come. Next.
And as that missing tooth
Mhm.
that was filled with my through my love, I will commit to make you. Oh, yeah, no, look for me. I will commit to make you smile each day, even when the sun doesn't shine.
Yeah. And you see, as a tooth, you're what colors my smile.
I will make you sparkle more than any Sensodyne.
Girl, if I had a flower every time I talk about you,
Mhm.
this whole building would be a garden.
And with any garden, there is sweet fragrance. I promise you the best. The best. The best aroma through my responses as I learn patience and as we work together for the best in this relationship.
I want you to come closer. Come a bit
I just
closer.
remember my clothes.
Because what I'm about to share with you is that I am who I am because of you. I think about it. You are my every reason, my every hope, and of course, my every dream. You're all that I could ever desire. All my dreams and aspiration is summed up into one word, Daniel.
Lord, you win.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we have someone. Let's
Long time.
um I'm not competent.
Next time you have to go prepare me. So when I come out, we can.
Say you can
Yes,
represent.
I'm to go back to the drawing board. Well, lady Andrea, I wrote it all in the book, 21 Shades. When you read it, tell me to go back to the drawing board.
Psycho babes, it's all right. You hear? She's all right. Tonight I want you to take my hand, but most importantly, I want to take my whole life too. Oh,
I'm going to try your sad quote song, you know.
take all of me because I can't help falling in love.
You know, you're not easy. You got to tell them what you do.
I can't help falling in love. You know.
Right now, I'm me win. You know that?
You know what? I'm not going to even bother fight today tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we well go on. Revision, it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Aliko impromptu show. They kind of catch my wife off a guard and pull her up. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we wanted to talk about what is it that really accounts for a good relationship, a fulfilled relationship. And I know the automatic thing that persons are going to say when you sing. I know the automatic thing persons are actually going to say is, and my wife said it earlier today, what was it, communication? And I think we have overused communication. I know communication is like the paracetamol we said. And but is it really communication?
15 to 6, and me get 6.
Mr. William said 15 to 6. So You know,
Next time. Wait.
yeah, man, next time. That is why we're in time to tell you that this Thursday, Daniel will be launching her book. What's it again, honey?
21 shades. Not 50 shades. 21
Only
shades.
21. 21 shades with a brata. There's a brata. There's a brata in it. 21 shades, a practical guide to growing
Growing intimacy in marriage.
in marriage. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to go ahead and, of course, start on a pre-order. Soon provide the details. But this evening, we want to really talk about and fundamentally what is it that accounts for a good relationship, a fulfilled relationship. And earlier, I saw a lot of comments
Trust.
that came. I saw trust. I saw what else? What is? Let's go back.
Honesty.
Honesty. What else?
I think somebody said communication.
Um, Someone said communication. What
For
else?
me, I think for a successful marriage, persons have to understand that you're going to have disagreements.
Mhm.
It's just how you deal with them.
That's
So you have to have a proper strategy as it relates to how you deal with it. Because a lot of persons may think that, oh, when I have a disagreement, it's not going to work. My marriage is about to fail. But disagreements going to come up in the relationship, in the marriage. You need to go on 21. Oh, Jesus.
for each.
When you read it, Lady Andrea, come back and tell me if you still hold on to that
Even if
premise. It speaks to when I'm in the mood to share. But yeah, and there must be apology. There must be forgiveness
yeah.
and that kind of thing for a successful marriage. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna piggyback because I know we always talk about things like trust and communication. But as I thought about it today, I came up with a word called conversation. And for a while I was struggling to decide whether communication and conversation they were synonymous. Because we have said so many things about communication. My position is that communication is about being able to um, just accountability. It's about sharing your position, making things clear so that there's
Giving
no
a
need for
response.
right, no need for misunderstanding. It's almost about trying to get you on the same page. But what if there is another important aspect called conversation? And I thought to myself that we can be communicating and just giving information, trying to be on the same page and not have misunderstanding and all of those things. But is it slightly possible for us to be able to communicate but not to be able to conversate? What are your thoughts?
Lady P, so they're not the same.
They are not the same. Oh, all right, Lady P, you're walking with me. What's the difference between being able to engage in a conversation but communicate? Because I find communication to be like I'm giving directives, I'm giving explanations, or I'm sharing something because I want to keep the ear clear. But I see conversation on a different level. It's opening the door for us to keep learning about each other, for us to keep rediscovering. And I think that one of the things that is fundamental for having a fulfilled relationship is to provide space for both of you to rediscover new ways, new ideas, new information about each other. So I'm hearing persons who are saying it's the same, right? And that's what I'm thinking about. So we need to offer empowering ways to discover the love, of course, that we both deserve. And perhaps that's why I asked this evening that let's have a conversation about talking about love for each other. That's kind of like moving away from just giving you information to make sure that we're on the same page, but it's also, finding something that we're passionate about and being able to conversate about it. But not just that, if conversation sort of pushes me to have interest in what you're doing, I can communicate to you and not necessarily have interest in what you're actually doing. But conversation pushes me to have an interest. So I'm listening to you because I want to learn. I want to be able to share this kind of information with you. All right. And so, of course, one thing I want to say is that a happy relationship isn't the result of having a lot of things in common. Because most times I listen to persons and they say to me, what makes relationship successful is that we have a lot of things in common. And most persons who are dating often, we're trying to check off the box to see, want to see if the daughter we're hot, if we come from a hot kind of church, or a hot kind of company. We're looking to see if the sister wear white on a Sunday, if we come from that kind of background. And if we come from a more open or liberal community, we want to know if the sister too stuck up. We want somebody who we think have some amount of the commonalities that we actually need. But what if I say to you, being able to converse with someone is even a more powerful tool and a more beneficial asset? Because one of the things is, and I've heard you said it, Daniel, that you've been jabbing at me, that a lot of things that you actually know in your mind, in your dream, you think I am the one who have taught you, which we don't know nothing about that. People know something teach me. Say I'm me teach you. Yeah.
Inspire me.
Yeah, when me talk about some things, me here say I'm me learn from, you know. But whether it be inspiration or that kind of thing, I think that being able to conversate is very, very, very important. All right. So in my mind, having a happy relationship is not the result of necessarily having a lot of things in common, because we can have a lot of things in common, but still it's still not working. But here's Lady P coming in with some words. Let's get to my notes. So people can communicate verbal and also non-verbal. Conversation is more verbal. There you go. And you have to have a vested interest in what the person is saying and in the person itself when you actually conversate. Eye contact, yes, is communication. Facial expression could be communication, but conversation has to do with a depth of interest. It's with the intent of wanting to know. So in other words, can we actually, so conversation then has to do with relating then. Can we actually relate? Because there are persons who struggle to have a conversation about something. As simple as it is, can we have a conversation about it? That's probably something we actually want to think about. So I think it's not having a lot of things in common, as I said, but it comes down to how we address our core differences and how willing we are able to support each other, all of which we can learn through what I call conversation. All right. Persons, talk to me. Let me know as we go through. All right. It is, I feel, I can tell you or communicate to you what I need. But I think it is really through conversation that I'll get to actually trust and make that commitment to you. Why? Because I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm reading. I know Lady P said conversation is more verbal, but I also think it's also non-verbal, because I read those non-verbal cues. I look at the things that you find passionate. For me, when I was perhaps dating Daniel, there are some things I look for, which I think came out in the conversation. Some indirect things, like I was looking at how she actually treated her parents, how commit, and then how she actually talk about them, and then me I look if she actually are gonna be committed and faithful to them and faithful to those to their standards. Because in my mind, I am learning to make an assessment of who she is, not because she tells me in the form of communication that I am a good girl, but but based on what I am discerning from the from the different time that we spend together, sharing the conversation. Hold on. Yeah. So Lady P is saying conversation is exchanging ideas. And which I love that. Right, right, right. So we're sharing, and it is those conversations that probably lead to some long, drawn out. I mean, if I'm communicating, if it's just simple communication, perhaps it take me 10 minutes to communicate what I need to say. But conversation, we just don't know where it's going to land. We just keep talking. We enjoy
Mm.
each other's company, and before you know it, Clara phone burn up. And digital free nights are run over the place. So that's another thing I say. So I think trust and commitment is really built out of conversation. It's not necessarily what you tell me directly or intend to tell me. But I think it comes from our conversation, the things that you're addressing indirectly is important. Let me know what you think, people, as we go through. All right. So if it is that trust is about cherishing each other, and of course showing our the partner respect and making the person know that they count. This is not just by what you say, but it's how you react. It is in those conversations that you're having. It is how you value the things I find interesting, right? So I think we have to move the argument from just communication, which is about clearing up ideas that there's no misunderstanding, but to conversation, which is a little bit harder because you have to know, create the time, create the space. It doesn't feel like a chore, it doesn't feel like extra work. It feels more like
Something you're drawn to do.
something you're drawn to do it. You find a joy in doing it. You're not in any hurry because you can be communicating and communicating in a hurry. I need to get out to
Because
go to work. Yeah,
because you're communicating maybe to set out a particular thing that needs to be done or something like that.
exactly. But conversation, I'm not in any haste. Me actually sit down. I have a vested interest in what you're saying, and I'm doing it. And so what I'm saying is that much of the things that would, affect a relationship sometimes will be corrected through conversation and not just necessarily communication. Because communication is just being clear about something. But I learn about you. I learn about the things you care about. I learn about the things you value. I learn your core values. I learn the things that you're willing to do just by virtue of how we converse. I want to also suggest that conversation will also mitigate certain level of conflict. And notice I'm taking a notch above just communicating because I can communicate my expectations to you, but it is through conversations. I learn about your likes and also your dislikes, and then perhaps I'll decide as an individual that okay, I know this about you, I like this about you. I'm going to try not to find myself in violation of this. So one other thing that is common, I think everybody here can agree that it's a myth to believe that even the best relationship, and just pick on a role model couple, right? It is absolutely a myth to think that they don't have conflicts, right? So conflict is quite common. And of course, one of the things we have always advocated for is that conflicts actually serve a purpose. So we have been working on Daniel's book all weekend. My wife is very much meticulous. I know that about her, and I do know that she gets a bit anxious, especially when she thinks she's under pressure. Unnecessary. And in wise, she always returns the pressure um, in double. And so all weekend I have to be creating a space, and I think that she has been trying really hard as well. But so I think all weekend she has been trying, and I also have had to be trying. But um, what I'm saying is that because we have spent so much time talking to each other about different things and about things that we desire and that kind of thing, you can understand that although she typed the text a certain way and she don't say certain things, you know that there's some level of anxiety that is happening there. So I think these things we learn from each other through other conversations that we would have had and through other experience. But one thing I wanted to point out to that while I brought that up is that conflicts in relationship actually serve a purpose, an important purpose. You know what I mean? Because while my wife was there busily snapping all the things that she think were wrong with her book and trying to tame how she said what she said. Watch it now, people. Hon, you don't. First of all, I really appreciate how you spent all of
I need to
Saturday.
start my business, huh?
Yeah, I have chat business. Working on my book all of Saturday, and I really really appreciate that. I me just slept with my 10 self and wait for the next message. Because in my mind, something else I go come no Jesus peace. When we look about a million screenshot, blah, 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 blah. Them I need to do, them I need to do, them I
I
need to
didn't
do.
say that.
And here I know, you don't have to do it now. But anybody who knows my wife, that's what I'm saying. So you see, this is communication. She is communicating, and sometimes maybe not as direct as she wants to. Perhaps indirect because she's trying to be calm and nice. But anyone who have spent time with Daniel, well, for me, I've spent the last of my the last is 9, 10 years old, something like that, with her. I mean, was say although she no say urgency is written all over that. This need to fix no. Like we now go have a good until it's done. And so what I'm saying is that some of the things genuinely I have never done those things before because she's stretching me in a lot of things that I had to do with this very special book what she do. So she, I mean, with the stretching, the stressing come the stretching. And what I'm saying is that out of it, we develop some real skills, we sharpen some skills, and I also was able to to develop new ways and strategy to respond to her in also intense moment. And so what I'm saying is that there's value in conversation. We learn about each other when we actually have those conversations, things that people would normally say. So therefore then, um, when you have spent enough time in conversation, you will understand in conflict that it is an opportunity really to get to know the person actually better, right? And so here's what normally happens. Conflict normally pushes people apart. But what if we could work against that and come together in conflict to have that sense of conversation? Because I believe conflict is an opportunity to get to know your partner much better, and of course to develop deeper intimacy as you talk about whatever go wrong. Because me know with my tired self, after I try, to facilitate the conversation, complete what needs to be done, and then also trying to know what's going on with Daniel, right? So, I think that, it's very important that we understand um, that we should be able to converse in any situation, so to speak, because conflict should be a call to conversate, not just communicate. Because sometimes communicate, you just talk about when meeting go wrong and listen what you have to say and say, okay, come to an agreement. But sometimes it's not about coming to an agreement. We must go a depth further into it. It must be about getting to know each other in this particular situation. And so that next time, shall I Shall I have to publish another book for Daniel? I'll make sure that some of the errors I made the, the
Make me
first
look like me
time
that.
I will not do again. No, no, no. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I didn't say that. And I'm not, I did say you were very careful, and I saw the compassion and the
No,
try.
but me not is you love to say I'm a perfectionist. I'm not.
Yeah,
I just like when things are a particular way.
yeah, which is a perfectionist. Okay, so she was a boss this week. Of course, me I tell her, really boss, me I tell her, me not go. Listen to me, I've never worked on anything so long, continuously. Like, she wake me up from like 7 o'clock the morning. Here she have some stylish way to do it. It's like, do you want your breakfast now? Because on our way to prepare the breakfast or send the breakfast, you have to have 10,000 messages reminding me what we need for them. And of course, you know, I was employed to her. Lady Pia witness, 4:30 this morning. And yeah, and by 8 o'clock, I have to get up again and try to fix the things that went wrong. So, conversation is important. Many persons imply that sex and intimacy is necessary to keep a relationship going. But I think that there can be no great sex and intimacy without good conversation. All right? And it's not
But
just
having conversations are part of building intimacy.
exactly. So it's not just what you say now on it, how you put it now. It's not just communicating what I like and what I don't like directly or indirectly. It's genuinely enjoying each other's presence. It's genuinely wanting to be in the space
Right.
with the
So quality
I have
time comes in here then.
exactly because I've seen couples who them say them are going with them thing at them house in a them space. But you get that, you don't really want to do that.
Mm.
You get that kind of sense like it becomes a chore. It's now a duty. Me just I go and do what I'm supposed to do, and me just I do it
It's
because
just for the
God said me to do
moment.
it, or me I do it because me enjoy this for the moment. But deep down, there are perhaps things unmet needs and stuff like that. So it's not just communicating, as in sharing and listening, but can we have a conversation about this thing? And here's where you can have a conversation. Here's where you pass the test. Is if you can really sit and talk about difficult things that make you actually uncomfortable. So I'm learning. Like the things that you don't actually enjoy and they aren't actually good, especially man have some things we work through, we like with ego and all them something there. The thing is, am I willing to sit down and talk about something that crushes my ego and affect my manhood, how powerful I want to perceive myself and think about myself? That's serious, and so that's where we use to measure how well we can converse, and it should also then be the tester to see how intimate you actually are in a relationship. So intimacy is going to be measured by how comfortable we are in conversing about every and any single matter. I do find it difficult to converse in this area. Well, maybe this is an area for you to excel in. You see, the things that you're able to talk about comfortably, you can tell that your body is comfortable in responding and also reacting. Let me look at some of these comments that are coming in. Same way, encouragement, sweet labor. Oh, Lord. That very nice lady, the review, very lucky man. Kiss. Yeah. Yeah. Conflict can be healthy or destructive.
Destructive.
All right, that's wonderful. That's true, sunshine. Conflict sometimes allows you to hear what the other partner is thinking or have in, which is great. Exactly what I'm saying. And so that I think, and if we believe in the devil, I know we are all people of faith, and we believe in the devil, then that means
You
if
know
the
that the devil
yeah if
is
the
real.
natural tendency of conflict pushes you apart and causes you to vex, and you just about to visit certain topics again, then my spiritual anointed women of God and men of God, mostly women, um, then we should make a deliberate attempt then to counter the enemy. Does what makes him upset. Come together in conflict. That's a time we should be trying to have these conversations, because we're trying to create an hospitable space, an environment whereby we can talk. You see, anything you're finding difficult to have a conversation about, you're having difficulty actually enjoying. And the truth is, your needs might really not be met, but you just can't talk about it. Or you've not created that space for it. So I don't think that the thing called sex and intimacy can be, and I'm no, but remember now, I am no guru. I'm just speaking here. I'm just speaking. I don't think that anyone can maximize the benefits of this without being in a space that you're comfortable to just talk about just about anything. So romantic and intimate, you know, all the different practices that are out there, in some sense, will keep your relationship happy and passionate. But I've heard persons who are having great enough that, yeah, if you come from Jamaica, them say the man them a stula, and you know what I mean, yeah, yeah,
You talk about Jamaica like a Jamaica people, Jamaica men
yeah.
alone.
Jamaica alone know the word stula and white meal.
No, the points that you're making here,
Mm.
about trust and all those things, those all come through, building intimacy. What we talk about intimacy. So it is intimacy. If you have a strong intimate bond, then you will have a strong romantic.
Yeah,
Um,
but the research, so what you're saying, Daniel, the report, the research actually shows that they say couples who talk about sex have more sex. That's what the research shows. Um, um, I don't know if anybody on here wish to validate this. Where is it? I
yeah,
didn't.
the pizza she don't know Stella.
You don't know a Stula?
Stella mean you can't stay long.
Ask Tidra. Long distance Stula.
Yeah,
Look it
Lady
up.
Angia know it. She just said Lady Pio.
So, yeah, babes, couples who talk about sex have more sex. I, I wonder tonight if I'm providing a challenge. Because, the people them who we're not supposed to do them something there yet, most time the reason why they do engage in these things is because they have been exposed to a lot of conversation around the topic, and the more they have this conversation is more inclined they are to engage. And so something I must say is, and this is what I have seen as a problem that is happening mostly to Christians. So let me talk to Christians. So when you're not married, and I'm speaking now to people of faith. So it's as though the influence, the passion, the urge to engage in sexual activity, or even to talk about sex. And Lady P talked about dirty sex talk last week. I am talking about sexy talk. Sexy talk. That people are more inclined to engage in these things, being single, and them get excited and ask after something. But when it ventures out into marriage, the things start to reduce. It's as though married people have less talk about sex, them have more talk about children. The bills, the money if you pay, the debts, all of the other stuff them. Well, but let's talk about this. So what I'm saying is that if we want to begin to have a fulfilled relationship, believe it or not, trust, commitment, conflict management, all these things are important. But I think that at the very base or the heart of this is the ability to converse about these things. Because all of these things, Daniel, are learned behavior. Really, conflict management is a learned behavior. Trust is a learned behavior. None of we born trustworthy. We learn to trust based on our core values. We learn to become committed based on the values that we've been taught. We learn how to react to conflict based on our core value, our upbringing. You can take the best test pitney and put in an environment that is like terror again, filled with
Hostile.
terror again, a hostile environment, and that child will become hostile too. That's just the impact of our environments. So what if we can correct some of this through conversations? All right. Talking about sex is absolutely difficult, I've said, for majority of couples. And I'm not telling you that I have learned and mastered talking about every single ins and out of this. But I'll tell you, I believe it and I'm a work in progress. It gets easier and more comfortable the more you do it. So why are we not having the conversations, married people? We should be having. As a matter of fact, tonight you should book a special appointment with your significant other, your spouse, your lover, your husband, your wife, and just have a conversation. That might be awkward, but yeah, it's a good place to start. The more we converse, the better it becomes. Married
There
people
must
should
be a man.
married people should talk about it morning.
Morning, noon, and night. Brother.
And Lady P, you can tell me because me don't know if, and this is why I said, I said it last week that the church has done a good job in battering us before we were married to stay away um, from from sex and evil conversations around sex, which I believe is admirable and good. But has the church done enough to re-socialize? Because what we don't realize, is how much we have been, can I use the word tampered, tampered with. That it almost become a thing that even when we're married, we never mention the word to his spouse. How many persons actually does talk about this really openly and comfortably? Well, I don't really know nobody will say them really comfortable and right through to talk about everything that has to do. So therefore, we have to correct these things through more conversations. All right. The other thing I want to address here is that many persons believe that if I have a better work or if I have a work or if I have more money, my marriage will be more fulfilled. Um, I wish to say money issues aren't necessarily about money. Funny, funny. Oh, how you say that? A lot of issues that you're actually having, even if you have money, you still have some of them problem there, right? Yeah, when I have some money problem because maybe me not budget properly, maybe me I spend too much, maybe
You don't
yeah,
see the same
me not saving. I'm making some poor
things
decisions.
as goals as
Yeah, we don't have the same rules and all of these things. But these things can be corrected through our conversation, deep conversation, having a genuine interest in um in what we're actually doing, Daniel, and the goals that we actually have. And we have regular conversation. This is one of the reasons why in business places that them have the vision statement put up. You don't know it, but subconsciously they are saying this is how you can help. This is how you can help to serve our vision. They are telling you what they are doing, and you're literally being told how you can actually engage and be a part of it. So we should have these conversations in our marriages. We should be having conversations about our mission, going back, revisiting those. And sometimes even that will become a challenge. I was reading Dear Pastor the other day, and basically the lady I said she can't talk to her husband about the money and she can't ask where the money is spent on and all of those things. And you see, this is underscoring a big problem, right? For whatever reason, the man feel like him have to guard him money and him can't talk where him might use the money from. And for whatever reason he thinks he has to address the situation in this way. It's highlighting a bigger problem. The issue is not money. It is, can we have a conversation about this? Because decisions are made out of conversation. Understanding comes out of conversation. And let me look at some of these wonderful talks that are coming in because I am over here learning from Una as well. So talking about sex allows each other to get an insight into likes and you know say very important. Lord Jesus, you know, you know oh, can I use an analogy? Yeah, let me be very careful with this analogy. You,
Be very careful.
yeah, let me be very careful. You can be trying to accomplish a task that could have been corrected through conversation. Then, if we had a conversation about it and we talk, and the more we talk about this, then we start to say, oh, yeah, look nice, and a smile and a wiggle because we talk about some things, then we start to learn. And we start to say, all right, yeah, this perhaps is something that would enhance the relationship and that would stimulate the bond. So that's very important right there. Mhm.
But one of the things too is that I remember saying on Pillow Talk that when we just got married, like you would never say I love you back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it was really crazy for me because I'm like, but I tell this man say I love him and he would tell me something
Mhm.
like or you know you understand. But then I guess through conversations then, the more we share and you see what I expect, what I look forward to, then I notice some little gestures and stuff that have been, taking place and thing. And it really does pull persons closer because it allows you to realize that but he values me, he really sees me as somebody that's important to him, and he wants to share these moments and stuff with me. So for me, I think for any relationship to be successful, to feel fulfilled, it is for persons to understand that they're being valued. The person really sees them as a great asset to their life, like you really stand out for them, and you're willing to experience things together and that grow together, because nobody goes into a relationship and remain the same place. Like you grow, like with trees, you have the limbs them get
Mm.
dry, and so some things going to drop off, and become you spring again as you learn and take off some of the bad habits and become better. Yeah, look for me, so.
You see, me I look now, me I get complaining again. You see, yeah, but that's absolutely true, Daniel. And sometimes I don't. Christians, the truth is, I may talk to Christian people more tonight, because I think that we have to detox our upbringing. A lot of us, we don't even know the depth as to, demons are real. But I wonder if there's more about your upbringing, your socialization that is working against you rather than demons working against you and your marriage. You know, and it's true. We must not underestimate the effect that our upbringing had on us. And this is a very obvious one that Daniel shared. I grew up in a home where nobody tell nobody say them love them. I remember going to school and beating up people Pitney at school because my mother wouldn't say she loved me, and every time I look Mrs. Pitney I come to school I get hug up and kiss up and talk about them mother love them. So my jealousy and bad mind ripe. I'm just beat up the people in Pitney just because I feel like something will feel normal. The parents come out, you look too more special than me. And I guess that also came into my adulthood. So like it was uncomfortable. It was not just never normal to just say, I love you. Whatever my upbringing has done to me, growing up. So that's part of the thing that persons have to actually understand. I think, and then as Daniel said, we correct these things through conversation, and that's why you see, again, you will test the depth of the intimacy in the relationship by how well you guys can talk about every single thing. Like that's the real strength of the relationship, right? We must never measure a relationship based on based on just the good seasons. It's how do we, when we have those difficulties that present themselves, how do we how do we converse over these things? And because again, conflict must be seen as an opportunity to know more about the individual. All right. Culture is a factor. Absolutely. And I think it's the biggest factor. Your culture and upbringing might be fighting in your marriage more than demons, to be fair. And Mario, please understand, I do believe that demons are real, and I'm not downplaying this. All right, but I just want to put that part out there. Um, Sweet Pea said, I definitely had to unlearn toxic behavior. Learn as a child. Jeez,
Yes.
just because mommy did it, granny did it a certain way, why should I do
Do it.
it a certain way? There's a story, Daniel. I don't know if you remember all of it,
With the
but
pot.
with the pot, oh, you go.
So it's like the mother cook the turkey a certain way.
Yeah,
Like how people do Thanksgiving and stuff.
right.
And then the daughter did it, and then the other daughter came and was doing it. So it's like it was the size of the pot why
Mhm.
they had to do it that way, but they didn't understand it. They just thought it was just that's the way
That's
it's
how it
supposed
was
to be
supposed to
done.
done. Oh yeah, and nobody had a conversation to find out why. Let's have a discussion. Why are we doing it this way? And so this evening I'm advocating for not just communication. I know we have talked about communication on so many different levels in this program itself, but somehow as I reflected and talking today, I was just seeing a distinction really between communication and
Conversation.
conversation. And I realized that I can communicate well, but find it difficult to converse. Because sometimes conversation has, I all of me has to be in it. I have a vested interest in what concerns you, and so I am seeking to talk with you. All right. So let me just run right along nicely. All right. So, as I said before, money issues aren't always about money, really. They're about what money means to each partner in a relationship. Interesting. So, if if I believe that we need to save, if I believe that we need to be financially secure, then if I, Daniel, spending a lot, my problem with that is not necessarily money. My problem is about where my values are. And then equally, if Daniel is a person who loves to spend, and I say that, and probably she wants to say, "Yeah, mean man." But but the problem perhaps is not that I'm mean. The problem is where her values are. So how do we know about these values? We know about these values when we can converse openly about money. So the truth is, and I don't know, where's the concern, Lady P? I don't think anyone can have an intimate relationship. Anyone has a true intimate relationship if they're not comfortable talking about money. I think the research shows that that issues around money accounts for more divorce, um, yeah, more
More than infidelity.
broken relationship, even more than infidelity. So that's very concerning, if you would, as we talk. So conversation, very important that we have these conversation. So discovering what money means to both of you will go a long way in resolving conflicts, preventing and deterring conflicts, right? Especially the ones surrounding money, and also help to build what I call an intimate relationship. All right, yeah. Some persons, and I did see a comment from one of our, um, one of our lovely viewers who said family is one of the reasons that keeps relationship
Mm.
together. But we can have a family. Interestingly, we can have children. Because I've seen, is being the man sing it? Say, baby na old man again. So, yeah, something to that effect. That even a family with children becomes difficult when the two founding persons in that relationship find it difficult to converse, because children comes with their own problems, which the strength of parenting is going to be on how well parents can converse. Approximately two-thirds of couples have sharp drop in relationship satisfaction shortly after a child is born. And this drop gets deeper with each subsequent child. So the more children you have, that passion, that intimacy, that closeness, that drive you used to have. I look up, psst,
Because you're putting all of the focus,
yeah,
most persons put more the focus in the child.
exactly. And so you're not learning about each other anymore. You stop learning and probably start learning about children. And what that
So there must be
does,
a balance.
yeah, what that does is leave a void. I don't know if I want to say there needs to be a balance. I think I want to say that the parents must be the foundation at all times. Because the family is built on the marriage that is between husband and wife. I think at all times the importance of conversation must be highlighted by the couple. So it's very
But
important that
it's
we
through the
could.
conversation that you set the priorities.
That's
So
exactly
so
what I'm
so this is
saying.
so there is a balance.
I don't know if I want
It
to call
is
it
a
a
balance
balance.
because if I remember when I just had Danik
Mhm.
and you felt like Danik just come to take your place.
Sure. But that not similar feel so
It
no. I think that and that's what I'm saying to you.
so
That
it's like setting. So if you create that balance where the priorities are set, where okay then, yes I have this child, but of course I understand that though I'm a mother, I'm also a wife.
but
So
isn't that still difficult and complicated? I think this is my thing. Babes, I think this is you and I. I think if we strengthen this, the family will be strengthened. You see, and that's the thing. When we keep trying to separate, when we are two different individuals, trying to cut it in two, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, I think it becomes more frustrating and difficult to keep up with. But if I see Daniel and myself as a beast, like this thing need for work in order for that thing to work. That thing depend on a strong this, then that means I'm going to build this foundation between us so that this thing can be strong, because we know that building a skyscraper, what we see outside is nothing without foundation. And so I really just think that we have to move away from seeing it as a balance, because that becomes difficult, but seeing it as building a strong base that becomes the foundation, the founding principle, the founding ground for the relationship. So for me, I don't think it's because the balance you creating why me not still feel like Danica take my space. I think what
so
we
if
have
something
done,
come, but it coming like your hurt still.
I'm very hurt. Um, I think what I think we have done is that we have partnered to strengthen our marriage. Having a strong marriage makes having a family strong. That's just it. I think that's a point I'm trying to drive. But persons might see it differently. Daniel sees a slightly different. For me,
No, and of course you must have a strong foundation, and
that's
that
me.
is why a lot of people tend to say that it is good when you spend time early in the marriage to know each other and explore together and that kind of thing. But for me, I think yes, you do all of that, but at the same time you can have that and it still break
Yeah.
because of how you approach the situation.
But if you
So
were, if you,
so
but base, honey, base is not, base in a relationship is not like building a building and forgetting the base. You're always building the base. That's what I'm seeing. I see building the base in a relationship as being progressive. We're always trying to maintain open conversation. We're trying to always discuss everything. I think it also teaches our children that kind of culture as well. And that's why I see it really as being building out a strong base, right? So to avoid the drop then in relationship happiness, um, we have to make sure that conflicts remain low, and of course that we maintain a sexual relationship. But you can't maintain these two unless you can't manage and regulate these two unless there is open conversation, right? I think it started to mean more to me when you started to explain to me the changes that were happening in your body, as opposed to when me sit down with me like a selfish self. I sit down on myself and I say, poor me. But it started to mean something more. And I think that was an act, or in those cases, it was an act of strengthening. So after a while, I mean, I feel like, say, the boy there take my place.
but it seemed like I still feel so.
I think every man will feel like that no matter who. We married to a wife, I'm a wife.
You see what I'm talking about?
So what?
When I understand what I've been saying,
What have you been saying, honey?
the same thing about you marrying your wife, you have your wife, and then with expansion and everything. That's why I must say, even with the foundation, I understand the foundation is the foundation,
Mm.
but in building together, things can change that will impact the very foundation that was laid.
But that's why I'm saying, because you're thinking about um, sequentially in terms of building a foundation. Then you're seeing as a building. I'm not seeing as a building. I'm seeing the foundation as something that we keep revisiting. So in this conversation that we're having tonight is us revisiting our foundation and doing work on it. I think the foundation is the marriage, and so the marriage always requires this continuous work to keep it going. I think that's the point I'm trying to drive. All right.
Okay, understood.
Thank you very much, Oni, for
But
understanding.
hope you understand what me are saying.
I do actually, but I did say it. I think you're looking at it sequentially, like you're saying we are married, then next we move to family. I am not seeing it like that. I'm seeing it as cyclically returning to the base, because I think the base of a marriage is different from a building. It's something you're always going back to keep it going. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The other one that I've heard persons said, as we looked at persons talk about what make a fulfilling relationship, I have heard persons say fun and adventure, right? And you see people go on whole heap of vacation and have whole heap of hot things, and you must have that too. But the truth is, I mean, Daniel need one vacation, by the way. We have never been. Daniel, have we ever been to a hotel that go have spend some
We've never been
long
on
time?
vacation.
We've never had a vacation, really. We life is just so, yeah. But we life not sad. That's the part about it. And I looked at persons even in the pandemic, who found it difficult to survive their spouse being in the same space for most of the time. And I think that's where I saw, um, I start to appreciate my relationship even more. um, as a person, and just as as a husband appreciating wife, because I've seen people really who basically go everywhere in the world, but when pandemic like them relationship are rock hard. And
Because they create the vacation spot at home.
yeah, but I
Until you
think
can go out there, until
but
you have the
but,
time to go
I
out there.
don't think it's just what we do in the home really. I think it's just what we do as individuals. um I think we have learned to kind of facilitate each other, even facilitate with crosses. And so we don't kick and fight and lick down each other, you know. So hear me. Play and adventure are vital components to a successful and joyful relationship. Absolutely. So, like my wife said, we do most of it at home. We have been blessed with two wonderful children, and we have always lived away from our family. We don't necessarily have, you know, a community of persons who we can just hand over our children and just say, keep our children. So we spend our anniversary with our children, we spend our birthdays with our children. Um, and I think it's an important part of our family at this particular point. It's not that we could not give our children out to some people to, take care of them for the few minutes and something like that. But I also have another problem. I just hear too much horror story in my capacity as a teacher, that every time me think about something like that happening to my son or my daughter, I am very timid. So I'm going to pray for me. I have not been delivered from that yet. So my wife take my daughter and send go next door Saturday, and me they have a big problem. But they over my house well a boil because I want to address it,
So you wait till PV if you bring it up.
Yeah, but wait till people. No, but me did tell you, but just need tell you that definitely like
Yeah.
when me pick me they know.
Yeah.
So
Oh God.
and I too have to learn to trust her decisions and what she's actually doing. That doesn't make me any more comfortable. I'm still very paranoid when it comes on to my children. Them like little if me see them out the door run up and down, me just feel like say somebody will come and want stray shot will lick them. And so me I go for them. so, so I've not been liberated fully yet. But that's how I feel about my children. They're just I've had so many stories of things bad will happen to people and children. Not that I think it's going to, and I do believe in prayer, by the way, and I believe in the caring hand of God. But I also believe that I am a steward for them, and I owe them, I owe my children the right to have peaceful and happy life and life without as much problem as possible. Because I just imagine later on in the future when if something bad should happen to them. I listened to some of the horror stories that even adults share about what happened to them when they were children and then really beat up over it. So in my mind, if I can deter or prevent my child from having this kind of experience that years in our future, yeah, like I'm just them just innocent now. So, may I try make sure them not have that experience there. That them affair they are counsel and a ball and then counsel and say, what your father did them never do. Just no want it. So, guys, I'm gonna pray for me. We probably need deliverance in that area. So I've had cases where people actually offer to keep our children so we can actually go out in our past, and me actually say no. And there are times when me actually say yes because my wife I try to give me one good reason why I say yes. And all me day when me day me I wonder if they end up on the road. I wonder if they're all right. So that's a problem. And that's why I kind of talk about these things, because this can now make me well know say me not try not to spend time alone. But me genuinely have a weakness where it comes on to what might happen to my children. Let me see what I go on and chat here. Me I go send Uno one of these days. And
Wait.
a family one One, since they don't really love support for the kiddos.
Since they don't really have something.
Yeah, when they grow up.
Oh, a family one.
Oh, was
Why?
only vacation. Yeah. Oh, and that's why, guys. Please, those of you who not married yet, who not no
Enjoy.
children, please, me beg you. Them they tell me I'm nearly here. Yes, they hard.
We never have time for ear. As me finish my exam, me enter marriage.
uh, but yeah, no, I think Mr. B always tell me so. Make you no enjoy no marriage.
Mm.
Nobody around go get no children yet.
But you know, say you want to be father, bro.
Yeah, with me hearted, want to be father. But guys, I'm not sorry. I'm very happy for my two children. Um, my son, I was very much prepared for. Y'all would hear me say, when my daughter come, me hear them, me look up 10 times when me hear all the message. Like, not that I wasn't excited, but I guess because of the circumstance we were in, I may think about all of what might happen. But boy, me even look at the pandemic the other day and I said, boy, how my son would have managed if he never have one sister? Because I'd just pretty much be him alone. So, big up, big up, big up, guys, big up. So I'm very happy now. All right. So it's okay if you and your partner have different ideas about what constitute to play an adventure. And if you notice, Daniel have a different idea to play an adventure for me. Me is a nature person. Me like travel, just sit down in one vehicle and drive. Me no like playing. But me we drive from north to south and just chill, open up in the fresh breeze and enjoy. But it is out of conversation that we learn these important things. And so you see, you can't have true fun and play, meaningful relationship without these important conversation. So the key is for you to respect each other's sense of adventure and what it means to that partner. And so I have to kind of start look now and I say, yo, me know where my wife love. And my wife will, basically quite creative. You all would know that by virtue of, interacting with us. She will make one next house in our house where we live. And that will work. I'm an outdoor person. And so, we have to create that balance. But again, we learn these things through the conversation. All right. The seventh point, I'm only going to eight. All right. The seventh thing we learned about is that people think are keeping their relationship together is growth and spirituality. But can there be any real tangible growth without conversation? I think not. And I don't care how much you pray and fast off them devil. There's a space for conversation. And that's why a lot of Christian men like myself, well, not me in this case, but spiritual men, Christian men, are in a marriage that they feel lonely. Them feel like the pastor, the wife, give too much time to the pastor and what the pastor is doing at church as opposed to. And so we have to create that balance, as my wife says no in this particular case. No, the marriage again is the base. But then with the amount of things that we have to do, we have to remember that without the base, you basically not have nothing at all. Because when the marriage start go AY, hear me, no matter how you used to shout hallelujah and ball, I see some people where really used to worship good, but when them have like a problem, them mouth long and slow and I back at church, nobody can say me I talk to them because I'm not going to church with them. Let's stop that back and them lose them joy and excitement. So guys, hear me I say, we have a conversation is one true way for you to invest in the relationship. So the only constant in a relationship is change. We must accept that. All right. So the key is how each person in the relationship accommodates the growth of the other partner. Relationships can be more than just two individuals coming together. And I know that people say, "Oh, we come together and we become one." Sometimes we think, listen. I believe in God, I love God. Don't know me, anybody know what me are drop the exegesis and the Hebrew and the Greek, we drop it. But sometimes I think we have over spiritualized our marriages. Mhm. We have over sanctified it.
Explain.
Um, you know me already. It's um, yeah, over sanctified it. God has allowed you to make a free choice as to who you marry. God not jape up nobody. Me know some hear some other place say the Lord lead and the Lord. But I've heard that so many times. But the part that people can't answer me is that some of these people who are led to marry, when they end up have a breakup or the marriage now work out, all of a sudden we not hear the narrative, oh God did let them. And and them not even want to accept that they were, they had operated in their own fear. What I think is consistent. God has given us enough wisdom, given us a community of persons. God has given us the good, good tools and materials whereby we can use to make appropriate decisions. I think God allows us as children to make wise decisions based on the information that He provides and think. I do think that God has a hand in it. He guides us and when we submit to Him, I do believe that He helps us in making those right decisions. But yeah, but yeah, God alone will not keep your marriage for you.
Yeah, for do something.
Me I get in enough trouble, some people are gonna beat me up.
It just come like when we're doing PV and we say
Yeah,
like yes you get the word we reflect but then
yeah,
you have to leave under something in
exactly.
order for the word like application is always
Thank
necessary
you.
anything that
So
you're doing.
thank you. No, my wife. My wife have nicer words than me. So the reality is that God is not going to get up and make your marriage work. You have to get up and apply what God say to make the relationship work. I do believe God gives us the strength, He gives us the will, He he reveals to us what we need to be able to do. He inspires people to start programs like these so one can reflect on their marriage. He inspires writers to write books that persons can actually use. Um, but ultimately, the work of marriage is going to be something that we must be committed to do. So relationships can be more than just two individuals coming together. Yeah, they can be stories of transformation and great contribution to the meaning of the world. I mean, just want to nail a point there. Listen, your marriage now have just be the two on a jogging in one corner, but you're together creating an awesome story that could be what shapes the life of the next generation, impact people in your community. So I think it's a high call. I think it's a great call. It's a great opportunity to collaborate, impact, to network, to work together, to help some people, to help yourself as well. You are authoring a great story as married people. And so, hmm, and so,
Conversation.
invest in conversation. All right, invest. The last thing I'll say to persons is that some people believe, Daniel, that what makes their relationship work is the fact that we have the same dreams. And if we have good dreams, the marriage will go work. Honoring each other's dream is, of course, the secret ingredient to creating love for a lifetime. That's true. But how can we do without conversation? Because we have to converse so I can know what your dreams are. What goals are you making? What steps are you taking? How are you making progress? And how this can I actually help you? So when dreams are honored, everything else in the relationship becomes easier. And the fact that we know this is why we're going to invest harder into our relationship and make sure say them actually work. Every strong relationship is a result of never ending conversation between partners. We're going to write that down. Every strong relationship is a result of never ending conversation between partners. I rest my beautiful case tonight. You can't say beautiful case.
Conversation.
Conversation. So, guys, conversation very important, and I really just think it necessary to have that distinction made tonight. All right, before we go tonight, I would love to nice. It's not done. Oh, okay. I am told that it is not done, but it is
Sure.
just want to to remind persons that come this Thursday, Daniel's book will be released. It will be ready. Her first book. Oh yeah, it's there. And
No,
so
no, put it through to see if it
it's actually there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
make sure, make sure.
it can. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can.
I tried it before, I didn't know what to.
It can. All right. So we I'm gonna put the link in the chat, of course. So of course, if you are interested in getting your way of conversation, interested in getting your author's copy of her book first out, plus there's a nice discount on it. Well, there's a link in the chat, so you can go ahead this evening and make your pre-order, so that come Thursday when the book is released, your signed copy will be sent directly to you. So link is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I think it is a great book that has some solid practical tips that are meant to help, um, help. And for the persons when they're married, yes, it will be helpful to get in the groove. Yeah. And of course, what I love about it is that Daniel has a part in it that allows for you to add your own challenge in the thing. All right. So if you have discovered something and if you feel like Daniel falls short of something, you get to become a giant author beside her. All right. So yeah, lady Yvonne, I want to say congratulations to Daniel. Really proud of you. Well done, good work. She has really labored and worked hard on this project, and she's very passionate about it. And what I'll tell you, she's passionate about the topic. Very, very passionate about the topic. So, just read what she have in her heart, and support the venture. And shortly after, I don't know if me allow to talk about another upcoming author that is about to bust hers a road. But just stay tuned. I don't know if me allow to say nothing, so I'll just keep my mouth shut and just tell you that there's another author
She's very much here.
who is here and who is online. That is as far as I'll say. All right. So yes, Lady T.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Wanna make sure pre-order. My God, yo, yeah, man. Me I tell you, lady have all some big hot dish in it. One of you try dish from all different countries. And I won't say anything much more. All right, I'll just keep it right there. But I think it's a very good tool. Um, a lot of work put into it, and so yeah. And those are you who like Lady P who say them now. Yeah, of course you can just purchase it in advance. Of course you can purchase it for someone. All right. So if you don't think that this book is for you right now, yeah, purchase it for someone. Purchase it for a couple. All right. So challenging you to purchase a book. And you guys can do that tonight. The link is in the chat. I'm gonna put the link there again. Yeah, you get to pre-order her book and do it. So you can do that from anywhere in the world, by the way, whether you're in Jamaica or whether you're in the UK, or if you are in the United States of America, or my lovely people of over Canada, or down at Cayman. You can do that from just about anywhere. All right, link is in the chat. All right, so go ahead and run on a pre-order. All right. Don't pre-order. Eh? Yeah. So, Madam Author, you have anything to say to us about what's your goal for this book? What would you hope to have happen when persons
I
purchases?
hope the same topic we discussed tonight. I hope most most couples will be able to testify of having that fulfilled marriage where they can connect, where they can grow, where they can discover new things, and where they can build and experience the joys of working through conflict and learning from them and just being real with each other. For me, intimacy is something that has to, it starts from you. Like, if I am not okay with me, then I can't be okay with you. And one of the things my father taught me was that if I don't know love, I can't share love. And so, working on me, working on you, then sharing you with your partner, being open, transparent, building that trust where you can talk about things, to talk about conversation, not just communicating about things, but conversing, having that freedom to chat, to laugh, to, really discuss things. Once you can discuss it, then of course, there will be a closer bond as it relates to the romantic side, the the more the more, yeah,
The more thing
yeah.
I will chat about. If you had to choose tonight, one of your chapter, number one chapter, if you were to choose one, what chapter would that be? And just give us just a quiet side of what that
I
chapter is
never
about.
know see an interview. Oh Lord.
Mhm.
Mm.
What would be your chapter?
There are lots of nice chapters.
I could imagine that, but what would be that chapter that resonates with you on a night like this? 13 minutes past the hour.
Being authentically you.
Of being authentically you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinguished opportunity and privilege to read the blurb. So I go and read the blurb tonight, so y'all can hear what is going on. 21 Shades, a practical guide to growing intimacy in marriage. Psychologists revealed that while it can take over 90 days to break out of a bad habit, it requires 21 days to embark a new healthy routine. Hmm. 21 Shades, a practical guide to growing intimacy in marriage, aims to ignite and to reignite the sensual flames in marriage. New couples may be timid as they seek to unlock the mysteries of romantic love. While for the seasoned folks, as life unfolds with the hustle of attaining certain goals, tending to the expansions with children and other responsibilities, it is easy to become emotionally disconnected, and the only intimacy shared may be disturbing bang and go sex proceeding. Believe it or not, these have the propensity to cause distress, insecurities, breakdown in communication, isolation, infidelity, and anger, rather than a growing bond with shared affection. Over the course of 21 days, completing each challenge will help couples, newlyweds to seasoned seniors in marriage, to fraternize each other through a mix of low, moderate, and high intensity levels of intimacy activities. This is not the typical pop up from a Google search. The book is strategically designed to not only excite but to cater to the requirements of all the five love languages while building trust, communication, and transparency, among other crucial qualities for a successful relationship. Couples must understand each assignment and commit to proper execution. While it is an immediate tool, it is a desire that it will also be progressive as challengers develop their own unique patterns through conceived mystical melodies of passion and spontaneous dances of affection to establish their best emotional connection. Boy, that feel like one chapter.
No, but I did speak about you focused on the foundation, and I was saying creating
Yeah.
a balance. A lot of couples like
Mm,
you get married, and
mm,
with all that happens
yeah.
in marriage when growth comes into play and all that, some persons really become disconnected. I was having a conversation with somebody, and she
Mm,
was basically saying she doesn't want to do anything without the kids, and her husband is trying to be a bit close, and it's like she's not entertaining it because she's just so focused on the kids. For
mm,
some persons, it might not be kids, but it might be something else,
mm.
like trying to be the person doing and putting everything in a business or whatever it is that is planned. And so you have the relationship being neglected, so you don't have the conversation, you don't have the building of that bond and that kind of thing. And so you realize that you become like two strangers living in the same place, and we don't want that. You
Must be mad. You
you
want me
you
feel my
must be
part?
you must have that bond, that connection. And a lot of times when persons hear intimacy, the first thing comes to mind is sex. But for me, intimacy is so much broader. Intimacy is about me, being me. Intimacy is about how much I'm able to talk with my partner about certain things. Like sometimes there are things that happen in our relationship that we might not even understand, like why is this happening? But then you guys spoke about culture earlier and socialization. Those things do affect some of the things that takes place in marriage. If we don't have a conversation and an understanding of, what I grew up to see, what you grew up to see, what are some of the premises that you build your, you know, the tenets of what you think is, for a successful relationship, then we won't be able to understand each other and to work through to say, okay, then, all right, this is what I grew up to see, this is what you grew up to see. Let's create a balance as we create our own culture in our relationship and that kind of thing. And because it's okay to create your own culture in your relationship. I mean, you're two different people, and so you build it together. You're creating this space where you can feel free, where it doesn't seem like a heartache to come home in the evening, but you actually look forward to coming home because you know that there's a welcoming environment, there's a welcoming spouse, there is that space to evolve.
Well, I tell you, she seems to have a lot to say on this. I tell you, she's very passionate about the topic. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, man. Make sure you go ahead and grab your copy. If you're too young to grab a copy, make sure make sure you grab somebody who will that copy. Thank you very much, Lady Anne-Marie Longley. And of course, Faith Connection. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
And Daniel's birthday is on
Thursday, and
Thursday.
that's the release date.
That is the release date. So, I don't know what go already. No treat me dad, my wife, hot.
The
That's Jamaican way of establishing the
the
Empress.
daughter.
The Empress. So, to treat me Empress good. Alright, and make sure to treat me
Next time you
Empress
do
good.
the interview earlier, it's getting late, and so guys, it is what time is it in the UK? It's now 12:20.
No,
You don't do an interview at 12:20. You do it earlier, so I have the energy to share it. Yeah, if you watch the videos, you know I'm excited about this book. I don't sound excited now because
wait.
it is sleeping time.
And TJ, wait upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to close off this segment so that you'll have enough time to join
Women
the Women of
of
Excellence
excellence.
in the next half an hour or so. But thank you very much. Remember to share the link and just encourage persons to go ahead and pre-order so we can actually get those books out
Oh, and the cover
to
is
you.
actually there too, so you always see the cover.
Yeah, yeah. So we can see a glimpse of what the cover looks like. Well, and the man, they have to give them a piece. Let me give me go on a little piece there. Sure, chat ball. We know some mean. Where you go again? I present it now. Whoa.
Sure.
Share screen.
You sure?
Think so. Yeah. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
21 June.
Gosh, think is this. Yeah, there you go. Tell me what y'all think about her. Her cover design. Yeah. Yeah. That's her
All right.
cover design. Cover cover design. There you go. Cover. All right. Tell me what you think, Tell me if it look hot. You just say book hot. Tell me if you book hot. All right. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming over and joining with us. Now I will hand over to Daniel, who will pray.
Oh gosh. Lord, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for the privilege that we have had to come on to discuss, as a group, what it is, what it entails to have, that fulfilling relationship. I pray, God, that even as the importance of conversation was stressed in achieving that trust, in achieving that togetherness, in achieving that bond, that intimacy, that space where, God, we can confide in each other. I pray as people in our own relationships will really be able, God, to master the skills of having that conversation within our unions. I pray, God, that we'll have more testimonies that marriage works. We'll have more testimonies of persons living that life where they're not just existing in their relationship, but they're really enjoying it. They're growing together and really find that joy in experiencing the relationship with each other. Lord, I pray for those persons who have not yet made a commitment to say yes to marriage, but God, they're in waiting, those dating, those going through the whole courtship period. I pray, God, that they too will make, wise decisions as they seek to go forth and enjoy those benefits and the opportunities created even in conflict to grow and to be their best in the relationship. I pray, God, that none will neglect themselves as they seek to pursue being the person that is expected of them in their relationship, but that, God, the first priority is to live the purpose that you created us all for, and that in living the purpose that our relationship will even become better as we advance and become better, improving each other through our, the strengths and helping with the weaknesses, that we may be an asset in whatever it is that we do within and without. Have your way in our lives continually, even as we leave. And some persons, join unto women, the woman join to the woman. That, Father, it will be a fulfilling experience as we seek to grow in that space. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Remember, guys, there is a discount that is out. This ends on Thursday if you want a signed copy. So make sure say you go ahead and do your down payment for your pre-order. All right. Blessings as we get ready to sign up. I begin to